All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. It is Tuesday, June 4th, 2019. Josh, let's tell people how they can get in touch with the show. 9 a.m. there on the dot. There's our email address, our phone number, and also our social media way you can follow us. All right, now, let me say this, okay? And I don't want to highlight, all right? I don't want to highlight a murderer. But I thought it was interesting, and let's just go ahead and go with this right here. Okay, Josh, I forgot to send you these two pictures I want. I'm going to do that now, so stay with me. I forgot. My apology. And I got a couple things to talk about before that. So, coming your way. Just tell me when they're ready. So anyhow, I thought this past weekend on the morning shows, I thought something here is not right. And I say that, put up number 57. Because let's paint this picture, all right? 12 people in a Virginia Beach public utilities, but it's a Virginia Beach government building, okay? And you guys all over America, you know your local government center where your planning and zoning is at, and your commissioner's office is, and your tax commissioner's office. You know where your local government center is in your town. So this is a Virginia Beach government building, and these are all co-workers, and another co-worker walked in and murdered these people. And I got to thinking over the weekend, where is, and at first, I will tell you this, and you know, I try to keep, I'm at the base, I'm doing baseball Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and when I do the tournaments like that, I struggle to try to keep up with everything else moving out there in the political world, and that's why I get a little exhausted, because I'll go home after a baseball tournament and waste an hour of my life watching a Kirsten Gillibrand town hall. But that being said, at first, on Friday, late, or Saturday, at first when I heard about this, I thought this might be an old story. I'm serious. Because this was not in any of the news feeds. It wasn't your usual, and let me say it like that, it was not your usual mass murder coverage. All right? Remember the Vegas shooter? He acted alone. Let's not go there. All right? But what did the Vegas shooter have is these military grade, as the media likes to call it, and the left like to call it, military grade, okay, weapons. I thought something's wrong here. There's 12 people dead in a government building with guns, and the usual coverage is not out there. The Dylan Roof, the plastered pictures of these mass murderers, the plastered pictures of the Sandy Hook, Dylan Roof, you name it, are not all over the internet. The white psychotic kid in Florida or whatever that went in and shot up the Parkland school, it's not on the internet. Why any other time the media loves to rush in, set up the satellite trucks, hold nine or 10 press conferences a day with local law enforcement, We just went through his car, and we noticed we're able to report his radio presets now at this time. None of that. None. They go set up. They go talk to the mom. They go talk to the brother. Did they have problems? And they plaster the murderer's picture everywhere. Right? Remember the guy that was going to sent the pipe bombs and kill people in Congress that never did happen? But you remember the pictures of the van and that guy everywhere. How about the white Coast Guard guy up here, or whatever, retired Coast Guard guy up here, military grade weapons in his house, pictures everywhere. So I'm thinking to myself, this story first is not true. Seriously, Friday, Saturday, like, I got to sit down. So I'm finally able to Sunday sit down, because we don't have baseball till 2 o'clock, and I didn't have to leave the house till 12:15, so I can get up, get a cup of coffee, go out on the side porch. I can start sitting down and looking at this. So I started watching all the morning shows. Well, first of all, Fox, Chris Wallace, not a word. If I remember right, not a peep. Very little on the others, very little. But here's what I think I'm going to go with George Stephanopoulos. May have been Chuck Todd, but George, right from the start, George Stephanopoulos says, we will not show the picture, or we will not mention the murderer's name here. We will not give them any kind of airtime. I mean, they came across holy all of a sudden. We're these great people with standards. It's like, what the hell? Now you guys got standards. You're not going to show us a picture. You're not going to tell us who it is. So immediately that eliminates for me on Sunday morning, it's a crazy-ass white kid playing, violent video games, taking antidepressants. I know, I just bothered a lot of people. I don't care, all right? But if they could have found that white kid, if this guy was white and went to his house and found out, he's taking all these antidepressants and he had these guns and they were illegal and they were AR-15s and they had a bump stock. I mean, couldn't you just give us a bump stock, an AR-15, something? Could you not find us a Trump bumper sticker? I swear to God. Can we not go through and see that he wrote a manifest and, he hated government because these were all Democrats and he was a Trump supporter? I'm serious as could be. My thing every day is to highlight the hypocrisy of the media. Now, we're not doing this to give anybody airtime. We're not doing this to highlight anybody. Let's go with number 60. He's a city engineer, 15-year employee of Virginia Beach, submitted his resignation letter hours before shooting. He's Dwayne Craddock. He happens to be black male. Well, that changes things. Now, what if he was a black male Trump supporter? What if? I don't know. We don't know yet. All right? What if? Number 61. Dwayne Craddock from the New York Post was violent with co-workers before Virginia Beach shooting, says the report. The gunman who shot 12 people dead at Virginia Beach, and yes, this report came out June 2nd, 2019. The gunman who shot 12 people dead at Virginia Beach multiple municipal building had been facing disciplinary action for the violent fight at work, according to a report. Dwayne Craddock, 40, was still employed as an engineer with the Department of Public Utilities when he went on a shooting rampage Friday, killing 12 and injuring several others. So he had 2 guns, okay, 45 caliber handguns. At least one was equipped with a sound suppressor. Now, what I understand, first of all, the handguns legally purchased. The sound suppressor is not illegal, but you have to apply for your silencer permit, sound suppressor permit, through the federal government, and it takes some time. You have to record those. So anyhow, sound suppressor, an engineer, black male, okay, worked for it 15 years, handguns that were not AR-15s. Right now, we can't find his manifest. We find very little clues in his resignation letter that morning, right? And we know by the pictures of the victims, he did not discriminate. 57. Number 57, he did not discriminate. I get it. I got a lot of moving parts on this one, Josh. Again, black woman, black male, white women, white men, young, old, you name it, right? So what happened? What do we not know about this guy? Can we not? I mean, this is gun violence, America. Why? These are legally purchased guns. Now, Kirsten Gillibrand has come out and went absolutely crazy over the NRA, and we know why. Because they have to pack in the money to get on the debate stage. So she used this. But I'm not seeing headlines of other candidates that are really using this. Why not? Can't you get any mileage out of it? There's something here that the media and the Democrats are really staying far away. Now, they're talking a little bit of this is another reason why we need sensible gun legislation, not control legislation. Sensible gun. All right, you will hear that, but not over the top. This thing is not taking 24. Now, 12 people, one person's is one too many. One person killed is one too many. But 12, that's a lot of people to walk in a government building and blow them away and kill them. So number 61 here, black male. Why? I don't care, you yell racism, racism, racism. If this was a white guy and he had a bumper sticker that said Trump on his car, and they were able to go to his house and find a red hat, a damn red hat anywhere, you would have satellite trucks. It would be 24/7. Let me put this up. This guy right here, number 56, the police chief, pronounce his last name again for me, Josh.
Cervera.
What?
Cervera.
Cervera. Thank you, Josh. Cervera, struggling today. Chief James Cervera. He hit them with sanctity of life, so they haven't stopped. They really don't want him on TV when he said sanctity of life. But I want to show you one more picture in this story, if I can find it here. Shouldn't take me long. I'll get it. I'll get it here. I had it here just a minute ago, Josh. Stay with me. Stay with me here. Give me number 9. City of Chicago sees 52 shot, 10 killed in weekend of despicable violence. And they're actually saying it's gang related. So these are gang related, senseless murders in Chicago, 52 shot, 10 killed. Odds are none of these guns are registered. Odds are none of them purchased illegally with this gang violence, despicable violence. But wait a minute. Chicago had 10 murdered and Virginia Beach 12. Just saying, something's wrong with this story. We're not getting the story, but trust me, if that boy, for all, I want you to think, see, sometimes what happens, and I'm going to say this all too nicely, okay? When I say too nicely, all right? I'm going to say this as nice as I can put it. Give me number 60. Now, this is the guy again that walked in. He's a black guy, Dwayne Craddock. He's a city engineer. Must be an educated guy, 15-year employee of Virginia Beach. Submitted his resignation letter hours before shooting. So what will happen sometimes, we all get caught in it, nobody really intends to do it, is the media will come out and do what they think morally and ethically is the right thing. And we take just a second in our brain and say, you know what, it's about time, before we get to, it's about time. So when we hear George Stephanopoulos say, we're not going to show the guy's picture or highlight his name because we will not give airtime or publicity to this murderer. You think to yourself, first of all, that's the right thing, man. It's about time. That's the right thing. He doesn't need. You have to step back and say, well, wait a minute. If he was a goofy, white, weird kid, I'm sorry, that was on antidepressants playing video games and went and, stole his uncle's AR-15 with a bump stock and walked into school and shot up people, there go the satellite trucks. I'm your host, BKP. We take a brief break. We'll come back. We've got a couple more stories before we close out today's show.